How does it feel to live without any big passions of yours? Just wandering around, not knowing what to do, when everyone else has found their thing? And how should we decide on what do we want to do to feel fulfilled and happy and not to lose your whole life doing something you don't want to? Everyone in their life will someday have to stand in front of this decision, which will define their whole life. The question is real simple, and we get to hear it many times, and it asks, what do you want to do with life? This decision often paralyzes us as we're scared to make it and we put it off to squeeze out more time to find and choose something. But this can really f us up as we don't make the decision and everyone around seems to have it all figured out. We all start to feeling pressure to make the decision, but we won't want to make it as we want to find something ours, which can lead to us both not searching and not choosing, standing between two different problems. But the world keeps going on, and we start to miss out on some important events, being stuck somewhere between space and time, or at least that's how it feels. But what should we do with this problem? Hello everyone, Raise Up, and today I want to talk a bit about not knowing what you're meant to do in life and living like this without big passions and interests, without anything meaningful, can really suck because most of people have something that they enjoy doing, and you not having anything really can feel odd and make you stand out. You'll just feel bad because you see everyone doing everything and you're stuck there sitting and not knowing what you want to do. Or you will just, try to fit in somewhere and do something that you don't really agree with, or that you're just doing because everyone else is doing it and not because you really want to do it. So you don't have anything yours to do, but you feel bored or maybe uninterested in the things you do because they're what someone else does. So you're not enjoying life, but you're also not finding your thing, which can be really hard because why would you want to sit and do nothing? You want to enjoy life, you want to live and have fun, and sitting there just waiting for something isn't really that interesting, and I don't think anyone would really want to just sit there. So you have no motivation to do anything because you don't enjoy it, and you're stuck not knowing what to do and not knowing how to find what you want to do. So how do you do it? How do you find something? And what is the main reason you should consider when making the decision? Because, you can do pretty much everything nowadays, and there's so many possibilities. Maybe you want to try everything, but you don't have enough time to try everything. Your life isn't infinite, so this is a problem. Maybe this is also the reason why we get stuck and paralyzed, because we don't know what to choose, and the problem with choosing something makes us stuck. But how do we find our thing? I think it's mostly on vibes. I don't even know how to explain it because I myself didn't really. I'm not really sure if I have found my calling. I'm doing this YouTube thing right now, and I feel like this is something I would want to do, maybe, because I always liked talking and, just discussing stuff, and that's the main reason probably why I'm here. I just like yapping. Maybe you should find something you like doing, in general. So, for example, I like those more, human related things. I'm interested in psychology, sociology, and all those things. That's also probably why I like talking, discussing, and everything. Or maybe if you're interested in sport, it's kind of obvious to go and do something with sports, but with sports it's kind of different because if you would really want to do it, it's kind of hard to actually be good at it, you know, to get to play in sports leagues and at least those professional leagues. It's hard because there's less opportunities to get there, and you also really have to be really, really good. But you can also just do it for fun because these are two different things, finding your passion and finding your meaning and why you're here in this world. But of course, it's cool if you work the way you want to and do something you enjoy. And I think that's how the world will look in a few decades from now on, as people, start to care about experience more than just pure gains and money. So just find some basic things, like general things that interest you, and maybe after that try to find something that is related to it. And I think that's just basically how you can find something. Because, I don't know, those different psychology tests and everything, I don't think they really work. So, I don't think they are the best way to find your meaning. So, yeah, you can feel lost because of not having a plan for life, but it's just the experience of this journey of life. You don't always have to have a plan, and that's fine. I think this question that we're always asked since we're young, this who do you want to be when you grow up, can kind of mess us up because it gives you the mentality you have to find something to do anything. And what I mean by that is, you have to find something quickly to get good at it and then just do this one thing for your whole life. But it's not really true because you can do multiple things, and it's just good to have one bigger thing going for you because then you can always rely on it, and those kind of smaller big things are not always that reliable. I've had those kind of interests and they never really stuck to me, as they don't. I feel like you can get kind of burnt out, and when you have this big thing going, you probably won't burn out too quickly. But the idea itself can mess us up because it kind of states that you should have plans and you should have everything thought through and ready, but life isn't always like this. And sometimes it's really unpredictable and you can't get ready for everything. So you can't just plan out everything. And that's just how life is. So you shouldn't expect yourself to have plans for everything, as you can't really plan out life. Because life will always finds its way to mess up all your plans and turn your life upside down. And the system, I also kind of talked about it, messes us up because we're expected to have something, and you find something, you go to school, you get a degree, work for 40 years, and then what? And that's also kind of up because we're just expected to have something ready, and we can't really get ready for life. There's always going to be something that you're not ready for. And you shouldn't wait to do something until you're ready, because then you'll be waiting your whole life. So I know it might be hard to have nothing and kind of stand out because everyone else seems to have it figured out, but I'm kind of confident in saying that most of people that seem to have it figured out, they just don't. It's either they pretend to know what they're doing, or are just so unconscious about everything that they think they know what, but they don't, or they don't know that they don't know, and just do anything and don't really know why they do it, but they don't even think and care about it. So just don't be scared to not have everything planned out and everything figured out, because most of people don't, and it's normal. At least that's what I think, and that it's normal and there's nothing bad in it. You just have to keep searching, because it's better to be happy than find something that you don't want to do and just get stuck in it and be annoyed and not happy with what you're doing. And as I said, it's good to have something to go to when things go wrong, because when you don't, then it can mess up your whole life, just like I mine. I don't really have a big passion of mine. I was doing random side quests, but never really felt that anything was actually meaningful. And as I didn't know what I wanted to do, I just, wandered around, and as I didn't know what I wanted to do, and as I said, nothing really stuck to me. When things started to go wrong, it can mess up a lot of things, because you start to feel other emotions and you don't have anything to go to vent. So you feel worse and worse and worse, and then you start to mess up your relationships with others, and you feel even worse. And that's something that kind of happened to me. I didn't have anything I could do, so I relied only on people. And when I started to feel bad, people kind of started to get distant to me, because I was kind of a pain in the ass for them. And I was left alone, and it was all my fault, because I f***ed up most of the things. I was being an asshole, and I couldn't really deal with my emotions because I didn't have anything. So it's just important to have something, but you shouldn't force yourself to feel like something is yours just not to hurt others. So do not feel bad if you're not ready and if you don't know what you want to do, because most of the people don't know about their life. I think pretty much everyone goes through this existential crisis, and I think it happens multiple times in life. As different things start to interest you, and some things just lose meaning. So don't be scared and keep looking, and someday you will find your thing. And when you actually do find it, you'll be happy, because I myself right now, I'm not really sure if this YouTube thing is what I want to do, but it still brings me so much fun and joy. And it is also my way to heal and to express myself, my feelings and everything. And it really helps me as a kind of a journal, or some kind of a documentary to express my emotions. But just doing anything that really feels like you could enjoy is good. Just find your passion, and I think just find your passion. I think most of the people should try creating something in some way, because I think that's probably how this world will work in the future. As AI and machines take over most of the work, people will mostly work, in creative fields. So I think everyone should try some form of creating something, whether it's making videos like me, or art, music, writing, 3D design, or I don't know, maybe building something, just basically anything. I think it can really help, because when you can express yourself, you get to know yourself better. Even writing a journal is enough, because then you can look at those emotions and everything on paper and think about them kind of differently, because your thoughts are not clogged up in your mind, and you just can casually think about everything. Or I personally like to just kind of simulate a dialogue with someone, because most of the things I think about now are related to the mess I made. So I would talk to myself to the particular person, but I also do write a lot, just on my PC, on Google Docs, and not on paper. So creating kind of helps sometimes to get a clear view on some problems, and it doesn't really have to be art. You can try doing anything. It doesn't have to be a perfect. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It just has to be yours. So if you're kind of looking right now for something, I personally think that everyone should try creating something someday. Because I think everyone has a creator and in them, and everyone can do creative things. Even though you maybe never really felt like you could. I personally was this more of a logical guy, more of a math, science, and stuff person, but here I am doing YouTube videos and yapping about life, so everyone can do something creative. It's just you have to try and kind of find your niche and let yourself fail, because everyone does. And you don't have to be public about it. You can just keep everything in your drawer and it's still fine. So, as we can see, living without a particular passion and interest in mind can make it difficult to operate around everything else. You don't know what to go for, so you stall for time, and this causes distress. You don't have a particular thing you can vent to when other stuff goes wrong. You feel FOMO as most people around pretend they know what to do or don't know that they don't know. So I think it's just best to stay honest with yourself and not let anyone talk you into doing things too deeply, especially when you know it's not for you. But if you're not sure, let yourself try it. Just don't go in it too deep, not to be confused later. And give yourself as much time as you need. Don't go too hard on yourself, because yes, it would be easier to know your thing, but if you don't, it's still fine. And it doesn't make you worse. Searching and learning is a part of human experience, so the worst thing you can do is lock yourself in between the states of not knowing and pretending you know, as you don't feel fulfilled but often get stuck doing it and losing a lot of time instead of just looking for your true calling. Just stay yourself, keep searching, and if you already found your thing and are sure that's what you want to do, just go for it all in, as even if it isn't your thing, you will have learned a lot and probably found the actual thing, as otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell what you chose wasn't what you were meant to do. So don't be scared of searching, stay yourself, and peace.